Stop everything because what Tom Cruise just admitted shocked even his closest fans. For years, the world believed he was hiding something about his love life. Secret romances, untold scandals. But the truth he finally revealed is far more disturbing and emotional than any rumor. It's about a choice that cost him real love, real happiness, and changed his personal life forever. Stay till the end, because this revelation rewrites everything you thought you knew about Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is not merely an actor, he is a global phenomenon. A living brand whose name alone can open films worldwide. From the adrenaline-fueled skies of Top Gun to the death-defying stunts of Mission Impossible, he has spent more than 4 decades at the absolute peak of Hollywood. During this time, his life has existed under an unrelenting spotlight. Every smile on a red carpet, every interview answer, every friendship, and every relationship has been examined, dissected, and often misunderstood by the public. To the world, Tom Cruise represents confidence, charm, control, and fearlessness. He is seen as a man who never slows down, never doubts, and never steps back. But behind that carefully maintained image lies a reality few people pause to consider. What does it truly cost emotionally and mentally to live a life where privacy does not exist? Where every personal decision becomes public debate, and every human moment turns into a headline? Those close to Tom suggest that his life has always been guided by intense discipline, laser-sharp focus, and a deep sense of responsibility. He is known for extreme preparation, perfectionism, and total commitment not only to his craft but to the people who work with him. For Tom, acting was never just a job. It was a promise to deliver excellence every single time. That mindset shaped his entire identity. Fame, in his case, didn't create ego, it created pressure. The responsibility of carrying billion-dollar franchises, meeting audience expectations, and constantly pushing physical and creative limits became part of his everyday life. Over time, that weight extended beyond his career and into his personal world. Love, relationships, and emotional connection were no longer simple or spontaneous. They came with consequences, scrutiny, and expectations that few could truly understand. When it came to love, that sense of responsibility grew even heavier. Being emotionally available while living at such an extreme level became a challenge. Balancing intimacy with constant global attention demanded sacrifices most people never have to face. For Tom Cruise, the question was never about wanting love, it was about whether his life allowed him to protect it. In many ways, this unseen emotional cost defines him more than his fame ever could. Tom Cruise's relationships have always existed under intense public scrutiny. From his marriages to his breakups and even the smallest rumored romances, every chapter of his personal life instantly became headline news. Cameras followed him relentlessly, tabloids speculated without pause, and public opinion often formed long before any real truth was known. What should have been private, emotional moments were instead turned into global discussions almost overnight. What many people fail to understand is how deeply this constant attention affected Tom on a personal level. Being watched is one thing, but being judged is another. Every relationship he entered came with expectations imposed by the public and the media. People didn't just want to know who he was with. They wanted explanations, timelines, and conclusions. Love, in his world, was never allowed to exist quietly. Tom has subtly hinted over the years that love was never about image, publicity, or career strategy for him. He didn't seek relationships for headlines or validation. For Tom, love meant commitment, loyalty, and emotional seriousness. But when you are one of the most recognizable men on the planet, even the most genuine intentions can be misunderstood. Privacy, something most people take for granted, became almost impossible for him. Simple moments, dinners, conversations, or shared silence were often captured, interpreted, and sometimes distorted. Instead of 2 people learning about each other, there was always a third presence, the world watching. Every relationship Tom entered seemed to be judged before it had a chance to breathe. The public analyzed body language, speculated about motives, and predicted endings long before they happened. This constant pressure slowly changed what love felt like. What should have been comfort began to feel like responsibility. What should have been connection began to feel like performance. Over time, love stopped being a safe space. It became something that required explanation, defense, and emotional armor. And that realization forced Tom to confront a difficult truth. He had to choose between living his life openly for the world or protecting the few parts of himself that still felt real. This is where Tom made a decision that surprised many. Instead of chasing relationships under unbearable pressure, he chose distance, reflection, and emotional control. It wasn't an escape from love, it was an attempt to preserve it. So what is the truth Tom Cruise finally revealed? It isn't dramatic, it isn't scandalous, and it isn't wrapped in controversy. Instead, the truth is simple, honest, and deeply human, something many people can relate to, even if they don't live under the glare of global fame. Tom has openly acknowledged that for many years, his greatest love was his work. Not because he lacked the desire for companionship or emotional connection, but because his lifestyle demanded an extraordinary level of dedication. His career was never a standard 9-to-5 job. It was built on extreme physical risk, relentless schedules, and absolute mental focus. From performing his own high-risk stunts to committing months, sometimes years, to a single project, his work consumed nearly every part of his life. Filming took him across continents. Preparation required intense physical training and mental discipline. Long stretches away from home became normal. In that world, maintaining a traditional relationship, one built on time, routine, and emotional availability, became incredibly difficult. Tom realized that love couldn't survive on promises alone. It needed presence, consistency, and space to grow. This is where his honesty stands out. He didn't walk away from love out of fear or avoidance. He stepped back to protect it. Tom understood that forcing a relationship into a life defined by constant motion and pressure would only lead to disappointment. It wouldn't be fair to him, and it wouldn't be fair to the person standing beside him. That realization marked a turning point. Instead of chasing the idea of love because it was expected, he chose to respect its reality. He accepted that timing matters and that sometimes the most loving decision is to wait. In doing so, Tom chose integrity over illusion. This truth changed everything. It reshaped how he viewed relationships, success, and emotional fulfillment. Rather than living according to public expectations, he began making choices rooted in honesty and self-awareness. And in a world obsessed with appearances, that kind of truth is rare and powerful. This revelation reveals a side of Tom Cruise that fans rarely get to witness, a quieter, more reflective version of a man the world usually sees as unstoppable. Beyond the action sequences and fearless stunts lies someone who has grown through experience, loss, and self-awareness. It's a side shaped not by fame, but by time. With age came clarity. Years of success taught Tom lessons no award ever could. He began to understand that chasing public approval brings endless noise, while emotional peace brings real strength. For someone who spent much of his life performing for the world, the shift was profound. He realized that happiness doesn't always come from being admired. It comes from being aligned with yourself. One of the most powerful realizations Tom embraced was the difference between being alone and being lonely. For years, solitude was misunderstood as absence. But Tom learned that solitude can also mean honesty. It can be space to reflect, to heal, and to understand what truly matters. Being alone allowed him to listen to his own needs instead of the expectations placed upon him. According to sources close to him, Tom now approaches love with a completely different mindset. There is no urgency, no pressure to meet timelines, and no need to perform for anyone. Love is no longer something to prove, it's something to experience. He values authenticity over appearances and depth over headlines. If love enters his life again, it will be because it fits naturally, not because it's expected. It will be calm, mutual, and real, free from the weight of public judgment. This isn't the story of a man who gave up on love. It's the story of someone who chose honesty over illusion. Tom Cruise didn't walk away from connection, he simply refused to fake it. So, where does Tom Cruise stand today? He stands in a place shaped by experience, reflection, and emotional balance. Hopeful, yet grounded. Open to connection, yet cautious enough to protect what truly matters. This stage of his life is not defined by urgency or expectation, but by awareness. After decades of living at full speed, Tom has learned the value of slowing down, not in his career, but in his heart. He hasn't closed the door on love, nor has he locked it behind fear or disappointment. Instead, he's simply waiting for something real, something calm, something strong enough to exist beyond headlines, cameras, and constant speculation. For Tom, love now has to feel safe, genuine, and independent of the fame that surrounds him. This honesty has deeply resonated with fans across the world. Many see themselves in his journey not as a movie star, but as a human being navigating life's hardest questions. In an industry built on illusion, carefully crafted images, and public performances, Tom Cruise made a rare choice. He chose truth. Through his silence and his actions, he showed that even the most successful people struggle with the same doubts we all face. Can love survive constant pressure? Is timing more important than desire? And is it selfish or necessary to choose yourself before choosing someone else? For Tom Cruise, the answer has finally become clear. Choosing yourself isn't a failure. It's a foundation. Only when you understand who you are and what you need can real love exist. And perhaps that's the most powerful love story of all. Not one filled with drama or spectacle, but one built on honesty, patience, and self-respect.